Welcome to the Inter Realms of Minecraft podcasts. Today we have a special segment called Meet the Players. We are your hosts. I'm the Tim Terry.
You are? That's
Yep.
crazy.
If you're not gonna roll with it, fine.
Well, apparently I'm Sir Bersalak, but today we have a very special guest with us, TheKemist77. Welcome, Chemist.
Thank you. It's good to be here, and I am myself for today.
Well, good. Hopefully that won't confuse the people, unlike us.
I was half expecting you to go, I'm the Chemist77, and then give it all away, but...
I was expecting you to say Emily.
We'll all be somebody different. It's cosplay as somebody different day, apparently.
Yep.
Craig is apparently Sim, so, you know.
Yep.
Technically, everybody's Sim.
Else. That's true. All of our listeners get the pleasure of being said hi Sim, bye Sim. So everybody Sim. Love to see it, love to hear it. Well, we're so glad to have you here today for another segment of our Meet the Players. Really excited to have the audience get to know you a little bit better, and hopefully we'll learn something new about you today too. I'm sure we will. All right, so let's start off with a simple question for you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Anything that you think is important for folks to understand and know about you. Go ahead and give us a little introduction.
Yeah, so my name is TheKemist77, in case you'd not quite got that already. I'm a British streamer and content creator, but I have since moved to Australia this last year. That's probably the biggest thing about me, which is had its challenges, but has been a very fun experience. And I've play on Interrealms, play a lot of Minecraft, and a lot of other games here and there as well. But I'm sure we'll get onto that a bit later.
What led you to move to Australia?
Work. So I did my degree in material science and engineering, graduated July 2024, at which point I then got offered some work out in Australia, and I was a bit like, yes, I would like to work in Australia. So the rest of the year was promptly spent planning and preparing, and lots of very full schedules and organizing whilst trying to keep the content bandwagon going, and organizing visas and funds, and so that's where I am now, and I've got myself pretty well set up here, upgraded computer whilst I was at it, and
That's awesome. I mean, who would pass up a chance to go live in Australia?
Not me.
Cool experience. Maybe it's really we'll move there someday.
I mean, and of course I now get the opportunity to go to PAX with a lot of the other Interrealms members that will be tagging along, including yours truly, Terry.
Yes.
But and obviously being a Brit, best part about coming to Australia is the weather.
I'm sure. What a total difference for you, hey?
Yeah. I mean, we're just coming out of winter now, and it's already like, it was like 25, 26 today. I think it's supposed to hit 30 at the weekend, Celsius that is. And we're not even anywhere near like peak summer yet. So.
And for those of you in America who don't know anything about Celsius, like myself, that's about 25 Celsius is about 77 Fahrenheit. So
30 is 86.
Warm. Quite warm indeed. Very exciting. Well, hopefully you brought all the sunscreen with you, and you've since been able to, I think you've been mostly able to stay out of the sunburnt arena, right?
Yeah, it's kind of surprisingly, I'm as pale as anything, so it was a bit of a worry, about getting sunburnt, but I've managed to avoid it for now. All the sunscreen out here is like factor 50 plus, so I'm pretty well equipped to dodge it.
So, how long have you been playing Minecraft? When did you start?
This question's kind of got two answers. So I'm going to make a number of people feel very old here. I was in
Bye bye.
primary school when the first version of Minecraft came out.
I'll go get my
Oh
cane.
boy.
I was in single digit age in years. So, but I was, small child, blocky game, very excited. So I was playing that when I could. And as it became a bit more widespread, and there were console releases as well, and so I was playing that when I used to go around people's friends' houses, and as you do when you're small, you go around and you sit there, you have some juice and some biscuits, and yeah, load up the game, building, diamond block houses in like crevices in the mountains. That was always my go-to. And then yeah, and then obviously I got older. I had high school and stuff to deal with, and it wasn't till I think with a lot of people, 2020 was when I got back into it and sort of more interested in like watching Minecraft stuff on YouTube. The only thing I'd really watched back in the day was Stampy's Lovely World, which is absolutely massive throwback to that. And but yeah, so I watched some content, and then it wasn't until December 2020 when I bought my first or bought my own copy of Minecraft. But like I'd been playing and I knew a lot about it up to that point, and so yeah, that's how long I've been playing my own version of it. Let's say, but before that, it was always just sort of leeching off everybody else around me when I used to visit friends and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've been playing for a long time if you think about it from the creative perspective, and like you said, there's so many different ways to play Minecraft, so I think that all still counts.
I mean, you can't say that you have a proper Minecraft player if you've not at some point tried to build a house out of diamond blocks or gold blocks or emerald blocks. I feel like it's a rite of passage.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I don't think I have either. Does that mean
Have
I'm
you
not
not?
a proper Minecraft player?
No, you. I'm no comment. No comment. I think my previous comments speak for themselves.
I think it's
I don't know.
interesting because,
Maybe it's a young kid thing.
well, I wonder too if it depends on whether you really played creative versus survival. I started right away in survival. I never really played creative. So maybe that's part of the difference.
Yeah, that probably would be a big part of the difference. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah. Actually, it's interesting you bring up the creative versus survival thing because, as I was saying, when I was playing around with friends as a small child, it was always creative and not necessarily always diamond blocks, but as I said before, we used to get like in the old terrain, the little alcovey bits in the mountains. I used to like put up a screen and then dig it out a bit and put different floors in, and that was always my go-to. But when I started playing on my own as an adult in 2020, for the longest time I did like you play exclusively survival. Um, and again, when I initially started up um, doing content, uh, at least where in terms of streaming and videos, it was all survival with the exception of when I would do farm design. But like in terms of actual like creative building process, that was all done on the fly, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not that there was much building process, but again, uh, that changed very quickly down the line as anybody that's watched previous episodes of the podcast will have heard about some of my slightly more extravagant projects that I've been working on.
Absolutely. I think the landscape of Minecraft builds has changed over the years too. It's expected to do so much more, so much bigger. And so I think creative has become a little bit of a must, depending on your play style still. But I believe that that has really pushed people to design things in creative. And of course, some of the mods that we have, especially on Java, make it even easier then to bring that over to survival.
It's definitely easier.
We're talking a little bit now about where we're at in terms of the world of Minecraft today, but curious what initially attracted you to Minecraft. And you can answer that as single digit year old chemist or adult chemist, but what's kind of the thing that pulls you and attracts you to Minecraft?
I think for single digit and adult chemist, it's probably actually one in the same answer. I've always been a very academic person. I'm currently working as a chemist um, in renewable energy. I did a degree in material science and engineering, and it was much the same story growing up through school and high school. Or I was always I don't maybe push is the wrong word, encouraged. I'd say in my academic ability, and Minecraft was one of those things that offered a really nice creative outlet for me, as opposed to the academic stuff that I um, sort of strive towards in my like school life and such. I was never a big fan on like art and drama in school. Uh, the other arts subject, I guess, that I'm particularly interested in was music. I'm a very keen musician. I can play a few different instruments, but yeah, having Minecraft to create something a bit more permanent and tying it in as well with my sort of engineering technical mind, um, getting involved into technical Minecraft and probably most specifically farm building. Um, so in the early days of uh, my streaming and stuff, and even a bit before then, before I started making like video content, I spent a lot of time watching technical Minecrafters, think Ilmango and Mumbo and Logical Geek Boy, um, who like probably the biggest people that got me into and got me understanding technical Minecraft. So and you know more understanding about why farms work just as much as how. Um, and yeah, like that kind of probably attracted me to Minecraft. The biggest was actually again that creative outlet, but still uh, staying quite technical, quite scientific with it.
I have a really weird random question for you, chemist. Have you played the education version of Minecraft?
I have not. No, I've never touched it. I've never seen any play
Oh,
of it. Yeah.
that surprises me.
No, I was always straight up Java Minecraft, pretty much exclusively.
No, okay.
Yeah, there's probably some pretty cool things in that version that kind of touch some of the things that you mentioned, chemist, in terms of the technical aspects and the science pieces. I've never touched it myself, but I'm sure that there's some cool things that get into some of those different arenas.
For anyone that doesn't know, it's science. It's not necessarily just science based, but they actually use it in schools to help
Mm-hmm.
teach because it's more realistic. I've never played it either, but I've heard about it.
So tell us a little bit about your play style. You've talked about some of the technical aspects and building farms, but what would you say is your play style, and what types of things do you really like to do when you're playing in game?
That's it's a bit difficult. I don't really think about it that much. I've always kind of just like done what I want. Um, which yeah, for the longest time was a bit like building farms. Like I guess you could maybe go like hoarder slash explorer. Um, to like put a term to it. I like to build the farms, not necessarily to get the fastest rates. I always just like to build a farm that works in a cool way or makes use of a fun mechanic. Um, like, I guess, like a tinkerer almost. Have a bit of a
Yeah.
play around, see kind of what kind of interesting contraptions and like, methods I can come up with, and then yeah, exploring. I've always loved to find cool terrain and cool structure generation, and like I know they've received a little bit of flack over the past few years, but like I always love going out and finding various different Minecraft structures. I remember a while ago we had a massive um, trial chamber raid. There was like 8 of us streaming at once. I think there was 10 of us in a trial chamber at
That was
one
Yeah.
so
go doing
fun.
ominous trials together, which was absolutely hilarious. The funny thing with that though is that started out. I sent Mika a message. I was be like, "Oh, Eleni and I are gonna go run some trial chambers because I wanted to get the uh windburst enchantment for my mace." And he was like,
Yeah,
"Oh yeah, I'll come along." And then just gradually another person joined and another person joined. And before we knew it, there's like 10 of us there all rocking up to go, and it was absolute carnage, and it was absolutely hilarious. It was still great fun
That's
though,
awesome.
absolutely
that was
hilarious.
a lot of fun. So you mentioned doing different farms in different ways. Do you have one or a few that you're most proud of?
Um I have a number of them. Uh a lot of which are in my industrial district on Interrealms. Um My tree farm, my 5-wood tree farm, I'm very pleased with that. It is, I guess it's a quote unquote standard design, um, but that is one that I built from the ground up from scratch. So I didn't look at any tutorials, I didn't look at
Oh,
any videos or designs. I knew roughly what it was supposed to be like, and I also designed this one to work with acacia trees to deal with the like branches out. Now, when I first designed this was before cherry trees were added to the game, and uh, I think I finished designing it maybe a couple months before they were added, or a couple months before the update with the cherry trees in properly released. And because cherry trees they generate in a similar way ish to acacia trees with the branches straight out. Um, it just so happens to work with cherry trees as well.
oh, nice.
So that was very nice and very fun. And that being said, trying to deal with all of the saplings from cherry trees is an interesting one because they drop so many. It's
So many.
crazy.
Do
So
they?
many saplings.
Oh
Oh yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Uh, But then there's probably 2 other farms that I'm really pleased with. There's my mud slash clay farm, which has seen a lot of use this season of Interrealms. That's an absolute behemoth of a farm, absolutely enormous, making use of dispensers and water bottles, and then a switch to either uh, just blow up the mud straight into the collection system, or there's a massive piston feed tape that passes the mud over the dripstone blocks with pointed dripstone. Um, and that then makes use of the dry mechanic to turn the mud into clay, and then again clay blocks get blown up into clay balls, which then get put back into the collection system. And then when 1.20 rolled around with the auto crafter, I was then able to add auto crafters in to recraft the clay balls into clay blocks. So taking another step out of that process. So that was another good one. And then the third farm is my skulk farm. So Enderman based skulk farm, uh, which I designed when I got stuck at my brother's because of the weather. It was a really really hot summer's day in the UK, and I was on my way back from a wedding back home, and I was visiting my brother on the way, and I got stuck because it was so hot none of the trains could run because all the rails had warped. and I
Oh,
spent the day. I spent the day on my laptop just fiddling around in creative, working away at this skulk farm, and yeah, one day later popped out with that, which just makes use of an Enderman farm and a lot of pistons, to make the biggest storage blocks you can.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not know you could dry mud.
Yeah, it's probably a little less known now, mainly because it takes so long to do. It's very difficult to do on a large scale, um, because it's random tick based, so it runs off the same mechanic that like crops take to grow, for example.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so yeah, it's really difficult to do on a large scale, but hence why my mud clay farm is so massive, because you just need to have the time to allow the mud to get through the system and allow it to dry. Otherwise, you'll just pass it over a couple bits of dripstone, and it'll come out the other side and it's still mud.
Makes sense. And I mean, when you think about the scale that you're building on, you need a lot of those blocks. So I can see why it would be a big farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of these farms as well that I've designed, and farms as well that I built that were other people's designs. These were all featured in my first ever YouTube series I did, which was all based around farms, which was called Farming Minecraft. And so that was a year plus long world that I had before I joined Interrealms. Um, just solo, single player, and each episode, which for the most part was weekly. Um, yeah, I would build a farm, showed how it worked, and it explained how it worked, and yeah, and that was my first dip into like video content, I guess.
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Very cool. That is a really cool series. You mentioned you did that before you joined Interrealms. When was it that you did join us on the Interrealms SMP?
So I started making content in October 2022. So it'll be 3 years next month, which is kind of ridiculous actually to think about it. And then it was about October 2024, I think, that I got involved in the Interrealms community. I found various streamers through some other streamers that I was a part of. So I think Naku and Mika were the first two that I came across. And from there, I found everybody else. And then a couple months later, December 2023 rolls around, and I get invited to join the Christmas live stream weekend event, which was the most fun I have had in a long, long time, or have had at
That
the
was a
time.
That was
blast.
It
great.
was it was an absolute blast. It was hilarious. I was streaming it, and I'd done 6 hours of Satisfactory in the morning, thinking, "Oh, I'll do my main Satisfactory stream on the Saturday, and then I'll hop onto the Interrealms SMP and maybe do a couple hours of mini games with the peeps over there, and then I'll chill for the rest of the Saturday afternoon." And so anyway, what ended up happening was I started at midday on Saturday, streamed my 6 hours of Satisfactory, jumped onto the Interrealms and proceeded to stream 6 hours of Christmas mini games and shenanigans. At the time, it was the longest stream I'd ever done, and
Oh, geez.
I had an absolute yeah, it was 12 hours of straight streaming pretty much.
Oh, wow.
Obviously with a few breaks in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was absolutely great fun. I absolutely thrashed everybody at the ice boat race, which was very
Yes.
satisfying.
Yes, you
Were you,
did.
were you on when Naku had to proclaim her undying love to me every like 37 seconds?
I was on when a number of people had to proclaim their undying love to many other people.
Wait, other
That
people
was
did it?
great.
Naku, I
And
thought it was special.
uh, no,
It
I
was a
think like
task
sure,
for
yeah, it was a task from Nutty or Nice.
Yep.
Oh,
Um,
I thought I was special.
yeah, which was that was again very funny. I think my favorite task from Nutty or Nice though, which led to like it must have been like an hour and a half of utter chaos, was King of the Hill.
Yep.
Which might
That
be
was
my favorite
chaos.
thing from that entire weekend, was playing King of the Hill on this one block pillar. Was it on top of Pac-Man, I think.
Sounds right.
And there was like, I don't know, half a dozen of us or so flying around with our elytra, just whacking people off the top. And then I think eventually one of us had built like a little crow's nest, um, wonderfully decorated with people's heads. Mostly Doylin's, if I remember. Um, and just this periodic ringing of going, I'm king of the hill. No, I'm
Yep.
king of the hill. And honestly, this went on for like an hour or so. And yeah, I was absolutely dying with laughter by the end of it.
Cheeks hurting
That,
and everything.
that was the best. You log on, and the first thing you hear is, "Can I have your head?" Wait a second, I just got here.
Yeah, that was most of the live stream weekend. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And I didn't think
Well,
about it until just now. I do that when someone else joins on Interrums. Like, can you just turn around for a second? I need your head.
most fun part.
Yes.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit and shift from just Minecraft and talk a little bit about content creation as a whole. What was it that really got you into content creation? You said you started about 3 years ago. What was it that made you decide, yes, this is something that I would like to pursue?
Yeah, well, okay, so I started streaming in YouTube about 3 years ago, but for probably about 8 months beforehand, um, I had a little Minecraft account, a little Instagram account, and that is the same Instagram that I have now with TheKemist77, but at the time it was called Just a Casual Minecrafter, um,
Hmm.
and that was me trying to get better at building. And I think I did 3 builds on it. I booted up a random seed in Minecraft, picked some random biomes that I could teleport to, and built some little houses. You can still on my Instagram, you can still see those builds right at the very bottom if you scroll all the way down. And so I guess that's a sort of quote unquote first content creation that I did, in that doing something in Minecraft to post to the general public.
Yeah.
Um, and I've forgotten the original question.
What was it that got you into content creation?
Oh yes, that's right. What was it got me into it? So yeah, in that respect, for the Instagram, it was that wanting to try and get better at building. You know, I'd kind of had the farms down for sort of 6-7 months now. Started the Instagram to get better at building, and then I started university. And at university, I had some other, another group of engineers. A few of them also like Minecraft, and I was doing that. And at the time, I was looking at building my first computer to help, as any engineer does, need with coding and modeling and stuff. And uh, I was saying, oh yeah, no, I can use it to do some cool Minecraft stuff on there as well. And some of my colleagues at uni were like, oh, have you thought about doing videos and streaming? I was just like, not massively. I watch people and I think it's really cool, but it never really occurred to me much before. And they're like, oh no, I think you'd be actually really good at it. You've got one of those kind of voices that kind of suits um like gameplay commentary quite well. I'm like, oh, okay. So my second year at uni, I built my computer, and this is where it kind of gets a bit funny, because the content creation thing was only supposed to be a temporary thing. It was only supposed to be about 6 months or so. Um, just because, yeah, okay, so my friends have said I'll do it. Okay, it's my second year at uni, first semester. We'll do it for a bit, see what it's like, and then I can knuckle down and finish my degree. And I I never did. And I'm now sat here 3 years later. Yeah, having just hit 500 followers on Twitch, and yeah, and right from the get-go, I've always had the same like idea behind my content, which is I'm playing games, I'm playing them how I want to play, and people can tune in and watch me if I want. And it's kind of evolved into this quite nice, chill, relaxing play style. For the most part, it depends who else is around. Cough cough, Eleni. um, but yeah, so it was kind of my friends at uni and one particular friend from high school who I know, Terry, you've played with before. SB, I don't think you have. Used to go by Meowgister. Now goes by
Yep.
Neko Mantra.
Okay.
He was one of my biggest friends, and yeah, one of my closest friends. I still regularly chat with him to this day. Who again pushed me towards content creation and gaming in general. Like I owe a lot to him for just games. He's introduced me to a number of very good games, the Subnautica series, Hollow Knight, which just had Silksong release this month, which I've been playing a lot and is very, very good. And so yeah, all this ties into sort of the kickstart into a lot of people just saying, "Oh, you'd be really good at this," and then I started with no intention of it going anywhere. And then yeah,
And here
one
you are
thing's led to the
now.
other. I'm now here. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
So, what is with streaming and YouTube and even Instagram, which I wasn't expecting? What's your favorite part?
I think it's streaming. It's got to be streaming. Um, it's the only one that I have, I guess, consistently done. Part for ease. When life hits curveballs like various personal issues or moving hemispheres, um, and moving out of uni and all of that around. Like streaming is the easiest one to keep doing somewhat consistently, because you can just sit down, boot it up, hit go live, sit for 3-4 hours, and then end stream, and that's it. But I do love the interaction that you get with streaming,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
the like straight off the cuff, in the moment kind of bits. There's no, you can never like entirely plan the way a stream is going to go. Um,
Yes.
like, and it's those kind of surprises and curveballs that make it just that bit more interesting, bit more fun and exciting. You take the trial chamber raiding. It was supposed to be a relatively calm 3-person job, doing a few chambers and having a chat, and it turned into 10 people going absolutely mental,
That
tearing
was
through
so much
the
fun.
tunnels under the world. And I think that suits my kind of personality very well. Like what I was saying, my content's always been, I'm gonna boot up and play what I want to play, how I want to play it. Um, and I guess my sense of humor as well, which plays a decent part of my into my content. I have a very sort of in the moment quick wit, um, and again, like streams really play into that very well, when you can just be doing anything anywhere and something will happen, and my brain can just go, oh, I can make a fun little quip about that. Jokes are quite obviously, I think, a big part of interrealms in general. uh,
Yeah.
and like anyone can find a dad joke on the internet and paste it, and it'd be funny. But
Mika.
yeah, cough cough me. Yeah. Um, but I think there's a select few of us that, and is it a bit rude to like group myself into this? I'm just kind of like praising myself here, but I think I'm one of the people that's just got just such a quick wit to be able to pick those key moments out and make some comment. Like Elaine and I, when she was down visiting, we were watching some sort of film, and we just sat there quietly, just sitting down watching the film, watching it happens, and the characters are stuck in a tree. The tree gets stuck by lightning, and I just turn to her and I go, "Should have turned fire tick off." And honestly, we had to pause the film because she was laughing so hard.
Oh, that's
And she
funny.
was just like, yeah. But like it's moments like that that streaming just lends itself so well for, because I find that sort of humor when you're recording a video, it's very easy to then overthink a bit because you have that kind of preparation and you can think, oh wait, hang on, let's pause it and go back because I could do this bit better.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite have the same effect
Yeah.
than it just happening straight live. But I do love all my content, and I do want to get back to YouTube once the mega project is done. But when all of your time gets sapped up by a million block build, it doesn't leave much time for other YouTube. I've been trying to work away at shorts in the meantime, so getting some of the clips from the streams onto
Yeah.
shorts, and yeah, and Instagram currently is for the megabase updates, which I will be back to on Monday, now that I'm like back from all my various holidays and settling back in. But yeah, streaming is definitely my favorite. Like you
Yeah.
just don't get the organicness anywhere else, I guess.
Before we talk more about your mega base, I want to ask you one more question about content creation. Obviously, you've been doing this for, a couple of years. You maybe have some tips and tricks, things that you've learned along the way. I'm curious, what advice would you give to aspiring content creators?
I think it comes down to don't rush. I think would be my biggest advice. If I had to go back and like talk to myself, um, yeah, don't rush would be the biggest thing, and part of that comes down to like personal reasons as well. I've particularly throughout uni had a very tendency to try and do things at like full speed as any student does, trying to cram as much in as possible. But I think particularly when it comes to content, like don't go for um the biggest builds or the most efficient farms or the craziest challenges or like the longest journeys. Like don't try and sprint yourself into that. Take the time to, work on that small starter base, or build the small little starter sugarcane farm that you need. And like even as well when it comes practically, don't try and expect yourself to go big too crazy and quickly, because then what you can then find yourself doing is um starting to seek a little bit too hard than you should do. And yeah, I think any long-term streamer um has had it where someone comes into their stream and they're a bit like, oh hey, I'm a streamer too, etc. And it's uh like that's not the way you want to be growing your channel. You want to let it happen organically, and
Right.
the best way to do that is to join other communities and just be involved in the community. Don't necessarily tell them that you're a streamer. Just again, don't rush. Spend time, get to know other people there. Build those friendships, and eventually someone will, or eventually eventually you'll be like, oh, I've got to go because I'm streaming from my single player world, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know you streamed, and they're like, oh yeah, no, come check it out. And it happens that much more slowly, um, organic way, rather than outright telling people that you stream. Like it's how it's how my channel took off. I took a year to hit affiliate, which I think is probably a bit on the longer side compared to a lot of the interomers. And it was because I wound up in a streamer called Tanisha's stream after I think I was lurking in a Tango stream and just working on a farm as I did back then. And yeah, found myself in Tanisha's stream. And it was from Tanisha that I found, through one way or another, every single person that I know on Twitch.
That's
Through
awesome.
Tanisha, I found a few other streamers. Through them, I found the Interomers, and through the Interomers, I found countless other streamers. But it was that initial community in Tanisha's stream and the peeps around there. Which, if you don't know Tanisha, you should go check her out. She's absolutely insane. She has now 5+ year hardcore world, I think.
Oh wow.
Which is, yeah. Someone may need to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think she might have the longest hardcore world of any female content creator. I think. I may need to be fact checked on that, but yeah. And so I then started playing on her subserver and got to know a lot of cool people through that. A few of whom still will drop in my streams, like even now, couple years later, and yeah. So it's all about. I think of anything on Twitch, and particularly Minecraft as well. It's all about the community.
Absolutely.
And about like who you know and like building up those friendships. Because it's just nice as well. Like, I don't want to go back to single player content. To be blunt and honest, I did my farm in Minecraft world, and since I've done more multiplayer stuff, I don't want to go back and do single player because it's so much fun playing with people and having those interactions and those friendships that it just feels a bit weird in single player. I've booted up a single player world a couple times before and started playing, and I'm just like, this. It's missing people.
Yeah, community is definitely a big part of growth as a content creator. And I like what else you said too about taking it slow.
Yeah, I actually like that.
That's-
I'm gonna adjust that and use that.
All right, you want to talk a little bit about your current Interrealms project? You've mentioned it a couple of times, the megabase, but you want to tell the people what that's all about?
Yeah. So in the complete opposite side of taking things slow. No. Well, to be fair, it depends on which way you look at it. So my season 4 megabase, which has been talked about a couple of times on the Intel's podcast before, is an absolute behemoth. It's over 1 million blocks. I think the schematic is currently sat at like 1.2 million, I think.
Wow.
It's a 500 by 500 footprint, give or take a bit. And I picked the worst blocks that I could possibly pick to build it out of. So the main structure is mud, smooth basalt, and grey glazed terracotta, which, aside from being a bit of a nightmare to gather, have no slab or stair or wall variants whatsoever. Yeah, that's been an interesting one to detail and stuff. And of course, I can't talk about what it's made out of without talking about the sheer astronomical amount of copper.
All the copper.
That I have become so famous for using, even after my season 3 base. So I actually joined at the end of season 3, right at the very end, and chucked up a Tesla coil base in about 3 days, which I remember surprising everybody because they all kind of logged on, and I sent a picture. That was like 3 days after my welcome party. I'm like, here's my base. And everyone
That
just
was
like,
crazy.
where did yeah, I think I threw it up over a weekend. And yeah, that wasn't small.
But that's nothing
yeah,
compared to your current base.
that is nothing what is compared to my current base. No. So I started designing my current base before um before season 3 even ended. It was February 2024. So it's coming up to 20 months now on the go.
Wow.
That I've been working on this, and I always knew this was going to be a big base. Um I specifically wanted to build something really big because um, one of my annoyances I've had with building in the past is that I don't have enough space to get things to look exactly how I want them um, to get the angles and the lines quite right. I have a
Right.
very geometric build style. Um, you can look at anything I build, and there's a lot of straight lines and a lot of geometry um, in it. So my the big megabase is based around a big central octagon, and there's a few other octagons and squares and rectangles throughout. And that was what I built it around. Anyway, I did start off with one size of octagon, and then I decided it wasn't big enough. So I then made it the next size up, but because of how the maths works, because me being me, I wanted it to be a nice even octagon. But the problem is the length of one side of a block is shorter than the length of a diagonal. So
Mm.
I spent more time than I'd care to admit sat with my calculator at my desk trying to go through multiples of the square root of 1, which is the length of a diagonal of a unit square, and trying to match them up to a multiple of 1, which meant that the octagon that I was building got very big very quickly. um, to the point where it is now today, and yeah, 500 by 500 footprint, and however many over a million blocks it is. But
Yeah.
it's good fun. It is good fun, and to be fair, it wouldn't be taking this quite this long because I started designing and building that before I knew I was moving to Australia, so I did lose 4 months to that. But it is good. I hit just today on stream. I am now over 75% of the way done with it. So
That's awesome.
it's getting very close to being done now. I reckon the next 6 weeks or so, and the structure should be up.
Awesome.
But
Can
yeah,
I just say that you using a calculator to do math on that is the nerdiest thing I've ever heard. That's
my
great.
name is TheKemist77, so I'm not sure what you'd expect.
It's that.
Leave it up to the chemist of the group to bring math into
Wait, I gotta
Minecraft.
ask real quick. Where is the 77? Because that's not your birthday.
No, it's very much not my birthday. I was born in this century. But so let's give a quick run through of my name. I've had this name, this gamer tag for a long time now. I'm trying to think, like maybe 8 years or so, 8, 9 years maybe. And chemistry was always my favorite subject at high school, so that's where the chemist came from. It's got a K instead of a CH because you've got to be a bit different somehow.
Yep.
The 77 comes from 7 being my favorite number. So I was like, well, why not have 2 of them? So,
Two is always better
Yep.
than
yeah,
one.
but I always find though, like, one number at the end, more often than not, it doesn't sound right. Like if you say like the chemist 7, it feels like it
Yeah.
might just be me being really weird, but it feels like it ends too soon. And then I try like, do I do it? So the decision then was like, do I go with the chemist 77 or the chemist 77? And just through
Mm.
natural speech for me, I settled on the chemist 77. And 7 is actually my favorite number, because when I turned 7 years old as a boy, um, I decided I needed a favorite number and a favorite color. So because I was 7 years old, I decided that 7 was my favorite number. And to match it, and this is where it's going to get a little surprising. I thought, what should my favorite color be? Well, G is the 7th letter of the alphabet, so green is going to be my favorite color. So at the time, yeah, I then decided green was my favorite color, and then fast forward a few years later, and I changed it to blue for some reason. But yeah, that game goes right back to why 7's my favorite number. And now I
It's
have
also
silver in my
nerdy. I love
name.
it.
Everything has to have some sort of logical reason.
That's fair.
I can't just randomly pick something out of thin air. It doesn't work like that.
Okay, I know I'm thinking of one already, but are there any inside jokes that we should know about?
Related to IR, especially, or maybe your content, anything like that.
I don't. There's not necessarily. I don't. I'm curious to see what you're thinking of, SB. But I think probably the one that comes to mind straight away would be so for reference, I'm a family friendly content creator more so than most people, Eileen.
You're more G than PG.
Yes, yeah. I lean very more heavily on the family friendly aspect of my streams. That is a personal preference. It's also kind of for me how I live. Like I don't swear in real life, so I'm not going to on stream and tolerate it that way.
Yeah.
Uh, so that often ends up as the not the butt of the joke sometimes, but it often ends up as what some jokes end up aimed towards. So Trojan Sling have this thing where if I'm in their streams, if they say something and even slightly off piste or slightly um,
Risque.
yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Slightly risque. Their immediate reaction is that, oh, Kemist is appalled. And so yeah, that's always a good laugh. And I think it was one time I raided into them. They were streaming together and they were going absolutely off on one. And yeah, it was absolutely hilarious because I'm just sat there and it's just every like 2 seconds they're doing something. They're going, Chemist is going to be appalled at that. And I'm just sat there watching, laughing. It's yeah.
So the one I
But
was thinking was I don't know how often you said this, but I've heard it and I love it. It's uh feed me copper and tell me I'm pretty.
oh yes, I forgot.
I was
Yeah,
thinking of
yeah,
that as
yeah.
well.
I wouldn't necessarily have thought of it as an in joke, just like a catchphrase, I guess almost. But yeah, no, that was okay. So okay, this requires a little. This is a bit convoluted, but so there's a streamer I watch called C Dubs. Used to be a Minecraft main streamer. He now mainly streams Balatro. He does Legendary List Nanin speedrunning, if that means anything to you. And he used to have a sound alert thing on his stream. I don't even know. I think it was from something. I have no idea. And it was feed me bananas and tell me I'm pretty. And it was one of my subathons. I think it was my 250 follower subathon. Um, I was doing some mining with Naku, and the clip of it is in my channel intro / raid video, which is on my YouTube, so you can go watch it. Go watch that to find it. And I'm mining copper as I did for a lot of the start of Interim Season 4 because I needed a lot of it. 45 shulker boxes of copper blocks to be precise, and that's after the copper trapdoor rebalance. And I was just mining copper, and bear in mind I was very sleep deprived by this point. And I did not mean to say this out loud, but I'm just mining copper, and I just went, feed me copper and tell me I'm pretty. And Naka just turned around and was just like, what did you just say? And
Oh, that's great.
so yeah, now that just that crops up every now and then. I need to get some I need to put that into some sort of graphic and stick that in my merch store probably.
I would wear that shirt.
So I think you've mentioned a couple of memories already, but do you have a favorite memory from World 4 specifically on interims?
Oh, from World 4 specifically?
There's been so many good moments. I know it's hard to
There really
pick.
has been. Like, we've already talked about it so many times, but the 10-player trial chamber raiding was great fun. Um,
Mm-hmm.
to be fair, a lot of structure raiding in general has been good fun. Um, I've done. There's been netherite mining with Elaney. Has always been. That's always hilarious. There was actually, I tell you one that was great was when I went netherite mining with Elaney and Doylin, and I had the most ridiculous ancient debris luck I think I've ever seen. In that I was just finding it left, right, and center. I was like just digging TNT channels, and it was just straight in a tunnel. I was just hand mining straight into ancient debris. And I think I came out with like more than double what both of those two had combined after a good couple hours of ancient debris mining. Yeah, it's so hard to pick a like moments from season 4. Like it's been going on so long now, and I've had so much happen in like real life
Mm-hmm.
since season 4 started. I've uh, graduated, I've moved to Australia, I've like amongst other things. Um,
Right?
yeah, like day one was good. My starter house was always amusing for the fact that I'd spent so long planning my megabase, I'd forgotten to plan my starter house. So I just went around asking random people, what shape should I build my house out of? What block should I do for the floor? What block should I do for the you know? Which
Such a hodgepodge build.
yeah. I think it works though. It works though. It's a lowercase
It does.
t
Yeah.
made out of red nether brick. Thanks, Elaney, for that one. On day one, trying to find red nether brick. um, I think cherry wood, birch, and deep slate, I believe, was the block combination.
Yeah, that sounds
It's
right.
totally easy to get blocks.
Oh yeah, very very easy to get blocks. Yeah, that was good fun.
I think that's one of the really cool things about Interrealms and our long-standing worlds is that we get to experience life, and I guess the server and the players, we all get to experience these, life big moments
Mm.
alongside each other because it goes on for so long.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like it's almost been weird because of like such the kind of pivot my life had whilst I've been in Interrealms, and even for my degree, having started creating content and joining Interrealms was actually in my presentation skills. Like for my degree, obviously, I have to do a lot of PowerPoint presentations, and for my final year project, I had to do a poster presentation, and even in that, having been used to streaming and talking to an audience in that way, and having been developing that over the time that I was making videos and streaming, like that actually did help me um,
Hmm.
in my degree with those skills, which was an interesting thing to sort of notice. But yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
going through all these big life changes and big life events, it's it's really cool to have people like Interomers to like share that with in that way.
So should we switch gears a little bit and maybe do a couple of random silly
Yeah.
questions?
Yes, let's do random. I like random.
What is Chemist? What is your favorite movie
Oh, that's
or a
hard.
favorite movie?
Okay, I'm gonna say the one that first comes. Okay, it's technically two that first come to mind because the third one is coming out in a few weeks, and that is the Tron films. It's so good. It's so good. They're both on Disney Plus.
I just
The
saw that. I'm
first
going to be
Tron,
watching this later.
yeah, the first Tron, which was 1983, I think, or 84, with some top quality graphics. Just saying. And then Tron Legacy, which was 2010, I think, or 2012. Yeah, two of my favorite films of all time for sure. And then yeah, the new one, Tron Ares, is coming out in a couple weeks' time. which I'm super excited to go see in the cinema. Again, Lainey and I watched the first two when she was down visiting, so we're both very excited to watch the third one.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've got a obligatory question. It entertains me. Chemist, have you seen Iron Man 1?
Oh my goodness.
I have indeed. I have seen all the Marvel films, all the MCU Marvel films, except one, I think.
Which
Which
one?
one do you think it is? I'm gonna let you. I'll give you three
Wait.
guesses as to which one you think I've not seen.
I would say maybe Ant-Man and the wait, Quantumania. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
There's two films I've not seen.
I'm sure there's more than that. There's so many Marvel films.
So yeah, Quantumania I've not actually seen yet.
Family friendly. Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's technically an MCU. I don't know if I fully count as an MCU film. I'm not gonna lie. The Marvel fans can say what they will in the comments, but
That's fair. It's Fox merger movie, so that's fair.
it's yeah, it's on a that's a technicality. For the sake, we're not gonna include that.
Let's see. Captain America, the second one.
Seen that one? That was
Oh.
Winter Soldier.
So, Kemist, what's the one you haven't seen?
It is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the second Black Panther film.
That surprises me because Riri Williams is in that, and I figured you would have watched it because of that.
I keep meaning to, but it's never high enough on my watch list for me to sit down and be like, oh yeah, I want to watch that.
Oh, it's actually really good.
Yeah.
Unrelated to movies, here's another question for you. Only because I haven't seen enough movies, so I can't be part of a meaningful part of that conversation. So I'm going to switch it to something I know about, which is food,
Yes.
especially pizza. So, big question: do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Yes, I do. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of
Woohoo!
pineapple on pizza. Here's the thing, though. Okay, in the UK, and I think in most places, pineapple on pizza is basically means Hawaiian pizza, ham and pineapple pizza.
Yes.
And while I
Right.
while I like it, there's always a better option. So I never really have it. There's always, like some sort of meat feast or barbecue chicken, there's always something better. I've come to Australia, and Terry, you'll have to have one of these when you come out here. And they do this thing called a supreme
Okay.
pizza, which is like pineapple and then olives, onion, mushrooms, and some various meats.
Sounds
All loaded
delicious.
onto
Ew.
a pizza, and it is fantastic. It is one of the best pizzas ever. And it's actually finally put a pizza with pineapple on into the tier list of I want to pick that from a menu. Because the ham and pineapple pizza, you go, that's on a menu, but I want that, or that. And then the Supreme is finally, it brings a pineapple pizza to one of those like contender pizzas to order.
Yeah, that's really cool. You know what? You mentioned barbecue chicken. Have you ever had barbecue chicken with pineapple on it?
Yes, I have actually. Because
That's a really good one
I've
too,
had
to add the pineapple.
barbecued pineapple. Barbecued pineapple is very good.
Yep.
Very good thing.
So good. Yeah. We call it grilled pineapple, but same idea.
Yes. Well,
Same thing.
yeah, I guess this is where you get to the difference between Britishisms and Americanisms, where
Right,
what we'd call a
exactly.
barbecue,
It's just
you guys call a
a
grill,
term here.
and what we call a grill is just
Exactly.
an oven setting, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So a grill in the UK. Well, you kind of have two grills in the UK because, but yeah, typically when you say I'm grilling something in the UK, it usually means like you're making cheese on toast. You put it in the oven, and there's like a heating element in the top, and it heats just the top.
Oh, okay.
Mm. Like toasting almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those differences between the worlds. I'll tell you, that's one of the things I love most about being part of the Interrealms is learning the differences in different parts of the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting to know so many different people from across the world is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I mean, we're so fortunate to live like in a world where we can just do this with tech. Particularly, for me personally, having moved literally to the other side of the planet, it's it's such a privilege to be able to just call home, and be able to speak to them from the other side of the planet. And I have some small child family members, and I get to still see them and talk to them that way. And I have 3 older siblings, and obviously I can still talk to Eleni and my parents. Like, it's to be able to talk to people around the world is fantastic, and to have such an international
Right.
community within Interrealms is, again, such a really cool thing to do, because you then get to talk about cultures. And as you said, like you, I too am a fan of food, and so getting to hear about what all the different people have to eat and the different cuisines around the world is really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that just about wraps up most of our questions. It's been really nice getting a chance to get to learn a little bit more about you. I'm sure the listeners will also appreciate the opportunity to hear more from you and get to know about your food and movie preferences, of course, in addition to all of the Minecraft and content creator stuff. But before we go, can you let the people know where they can find you on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram? Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm very, very fortunate. Everything of mine is just TheKemist77. I got quite lucky with my username across that. So yeah, Twitch is obviously where I'm most active. I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Do check out my YouTube. I promise it's not dead. I am working on stuff. But yeah, like I said, working on a big megabase makes things difficult to video edit as well as work a full-time job. But yeah, there's lots of great stuff on there. And if you want to know about farms, then my farm in Minecraft world, I think all of the farms still work on there for the most part. So yeah, do watch that if you want to know a bit about how farms work. And yeah, then my Instagram as well. So doing weekly-ish posts on the megabase progress. And yeah, you can contact me through there or through the Interrealms Discord to have a chat. But yeah, as I said, everything is just TheKemist77. It's makes things very easy for
With a
people to find
K.
me. With a K, yes. Look at the title.
With a K. Awesome. Well, we will put all of those links in the description below as well, so people can find them. And hopefully you'll find some new folks in your streams and your content soon. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. And we appreciate you. Listeners, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to this episode. And we will catch you all again very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, Sim.
Bye.
This has been a production of the Interrealms Podcast Network. For more information, go to podcast.interrealmssmp.com. You can see the full link in the description of this episode. Thank you for listening.